Okay, today we welcome back to the show Logan Stankoven. He's the Kamloops Blazers captain. At the time of the recording, he has 29 points in 21 games, and he was just invited to the Canadian Under-20 World Junior Selection. Logan Stankoven, thank you very much for coming back on Chump Talk today.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for reaching out to me and getting me to do this.
Yeah, thanks for coming on again. A lot has happened too since we last chatted, which we'll get into eventually here. But it's got to be great to play again this year. You guys played a little bit last year, but obviously it's a bit of a weird year with COVID and you didn't get too many games in. But just talk a little bit about what the last couple of months has been like, just getting back into the swing of things again. And obviously your team in Kamloops there's off to a really hot start so far.
Yeah, I think it's just been a lot of fun getting back to, I guess, a normal season, you could say. We got a great squad this season, and I think our record is, I don't know, I think it's like 17-5 or something. So It's been a pretty good season so far. This past weekend didn't go as well as we thought it should have. But, overall, it's been a lot of fun. And I think personally, I'm just grateful to be back playing in front of, friends and family again, and having I guess fans back in the seats. It's huge for junior hockey, and I'm just grateful to be playing, and it's been a good season so far.
I remember last time we talked, you were just coming off your first season. You were telling us how crazy some of the fans are in the WHL. Obviously, we're Ontario guys, so we see the OHL mostly, but you're telling us how crazy some of the fans are in the WHL. What was it like that first goal? You have 12 this year so far and 17 assists. What was it like the first goal you scored? Was it at home, or even maybe just the first goal at home, having those fans? Because when you're at the U18, there weren't fans there either. So the first goal, like actually hearing the crowd react, was that pretty cool for you?
Yeah, it was nice. There was actually fans at the U18s in, I think it was the Comerica Center. So where we played playoffs, there was fans, but
okay.
Our round robin games at the U18s, there was no fans out into that rink. But I think being able to score the first goal at home in front of fans again. I was only 50% capacity still, but just having, I guess, the crowd cheer you on, and knowing that fans are a huge part of the game and are definitely a big part of momentum in games. And I guess it kind of fuels you while you're out on the ice. And I was just lucky enough to pot a couple, I guess, for our first home game and our home opener. So that was a good experience. We had a nice turnout for fans that night too, so it was really good to see.
And that was the first game with the C for you. So I'm just gonna go over a couple things that has happened to you since the last time we talked, and we kind of talked a little bit before we started recording. But since we last talked, you got drafted in the second round, 47 overall by the Dallas Stars. You signed your entry-level deal. You got named captain of the Kamloops Blazers, and you won a gold medal as an assistant captain for Team Canada at the U18. So that's a pretty. It's been pretty crazy. I mean, like, COVID slowed a lot of people down, but when COVID kind of cleared up and you were able to do things, you've made worth of it for sure. So what's been the craziest thing for you, or just can you kind of recap all those moments for us a little bit?
It's kind of been a blur a bit. I noticed that, I guess, all of COVID, like the COVID year, I guess the past years went by really quick. Just basically from U18s on to summer, and then I was I was drafted first by Dallas, and then a few days after I went to the World Junior Summer Camp. So that was a really busy time. I think it was at the end of July, beginning of August there. So that was a really busy time for myself and my family. And then I guess not long after that, I came back from the World Junior Summer Camp. It was about a week-long camp, and then almost about a month later, I left for the Stars development camp. And I was in Dallas for about, I think, just over a month I was there for. And then as soon as I came back, my season had started with the Blazers. So I've been on the road lots, I guess, the past few months, and lucky enough I play at home. So it's definitely nice to have that luxury. But it's been, I guess, a whirlwind past couple of months, but definitely been fun.
How many quarantines have you gone through in that time?
Well, I know for sure I had one before U18s, one after U18s. I had one before the World Junior Summer Camp.
Before Dallas, did you have to?
No, nothing before Dallas. No, nothing before Dallas. I know
I downtime.
Yeah, it's been, I don't know. I haven't had too many quarantines lately, but while there was tournaments going on, kind of during the COVID season, there was lots of quarantining going on, especially when the WHL had the 22 game season or the 24 game season there. Mini season, there was lots of quarantining going on there. So
crazy.
I'm kind of glad that's past us, but hopefully we don't have to ever experience that again.
Is there anything that you learned about yourself during all that time during quarantine?
Yeah, that's
just
a lot of downtime.
You didn't know about yourself, or something that you enjoyed, kind of thing. Just that's a lot of downtime for just one guy.
What do you read a book or something?
Not really. It's something that's kind of interested me lately, though. Like we've been on the road lots lately with my team. We've only played like 5 or 6 home games this season out of the 21 that we played. So I don't know. I think I've been definitely looking forward to reading a couple books once we get back again, just to kind of pass time by. But over quarantine, it was just more doing schoolwork, and I like to shoot lots of pucks, so I do that quite often, and just kind of stay in shape any way possible, I guess you could say.
Was there like Netflix in there or gaming or any of that?
A little bit of video games, yeah. I like to play NHL with some of my teammates or my friends, and I guess that's like one of the only games that I play. So I don't play it too often. I can't play video games by myself. I'm not a huge fan of like sitting on Xbox playing by myself. So it always has to be with other buddies or teammates. So it's always fun when you get a good game going. And then I watch a little bit of Netflix, but a few of the series that I've been watching, there hasn't been any new episodes or anything. So I'm still waiting for those to come out.
Which ones?
Stranger Things.
Oh, yeah.
And Outer Banks came out with a new one, but I already binge watched that. So those are the 2 main ones.
All right.
Let's get into the draft with Dallas there. Obviously the NHL draft last year was a little unique just because a lot of the players being drafted didn't really play in some sort of capacity last year. You were drafted in the second round, 47th overall by Dallas. Were you happy with where you went in the draft? And just kind of talk about leading up to it as well, because obviously I'm sure that's a day that you had circled on your calendar for a long time, and something that I'm sure you were thinking about since you're a little kid as well. So just kind of talk about the days leading up to the draft and draft day itself.
I think, the first few days before the draft came, I think it was just more excitement and curiosity, just because, you never know where you can go in the draft. And especially for me being a smaller guy, some teams may take a chance on you, other teams won't, or are kind of scared of, I guess, smaller players like myself. So I don't know. I was just kind of curious on, what was all going to happen there. I guess once draft day came, the first round there, I believe it was a Thursday or Friday night. I can't remember which day, but that was a little bit of a disappointing night for sure, just because I guess the NHL network, which the draft is being streamed on, had asked me to dress up and turn the camera just in case I was selected. So I was sitting kind of around the TV with my family, watching the draft, I guess, just being prepared for whatever was going to happen. And then obviously my name wasn't called on the first night. So that was kind of, I guess, disheartening a bit and disappointing, because my goal all along was to be drafted in the first round. And in the big scheme of things, it doesn't mean that much, but at that time it was really important for me. And then I was hoping my name was going to get called early on the second day there, and by the 47th pick, it was called. So I was pretty happy about that. And Dallas has a great organization, and I don't know. I think I was just happy to go to a place where I've already been, and I know what it's like in Dallas because that's where the U18s were held. So I kind of already got a first taste of the city and the facilities there.
Is that something you'll be able to use as like a chip on your shoulder type thing? Like you said you were hoping and expecting to be in the first round. Is that something you're like, obviously you've carried that into this year and you're putting up 29 points in 21 games and you got named captain. Is that something you're able to use as a chip on your shoulder? You kind of just look past that and be like, okay, it didn't happen, whatever. I'm in Dallas now and we'll just move forward.
Yeah, for sure. I think it was just more motivation for me.
Yeah.
I mean, the difference between first rounders and second rounders and third rounders, the whole draft, it's not much of a difference maker, I'd say, besides the first couple of picks. Obviously, those are phenomenal talents, but the difference between players is so minimal these days, and there's so much talent out there. So I just try to use that as motivation and I guess prove other teams wrong at the end of the day.
Talk about the interview process a little bit. Like you always hear guys just being asked kind of like random questions out of the blue.
Yeah.
What were kind of the general questions you were being asked, and were there any that completely threw you off guard or anything like that?
Most interviews were quite similar, actually. There was a few teams where they kind of had some different strategies going on. I remember the Islanders had me do it was like a written test. So I had to like print off a bunch of questions. It was like personality questions and
that's Lou.
It was almost close to an hour. It was like more of a than anything. So that one was kind of different. I remember there was a scout from Anaheim. I'm not going to say any names, but he actually told me a bunch of things that I needed to work on. And he said that I needed to pass the puck more. So I was kind of shocked by that a bit. But
wow.
I mean, Anaheim didn't pick me, so I don't really care. But yeah, I was kind of surprised by that. He had phoned me, I think, like 6 or 7 times before the draft had happened. So over I'd say over like half of a year, he phoned me like 6 or 7 times, which isn't really common because most teams you either speak to them once, maybe twice. So
yeah, was he every call? Was he telling you something different you need to change or what?
No, there was just the one call. It was like the second time I talked to him. I was on the phone with him for a super long time, and yeah, he just kind of we were kind of talking about my strengths and weaknesses, and then I personally asked him, I was like what things, because he said that he's watched me lots, so I kind of like, hey, what things do you think I could work on? And he mentioned moving the puck more was definitely something.
Wow.
Okay, wow.
And the most important question from the draft here, how did you celebrate it after the fact?
On the second day, which I was drafted in the second round there, once I found out in the morning, we had already planned this, but it was more my dad and my mom had planned for a bunch of family and friends to come over, and just old coaches and trainers and people that have supported me along the way. So we had more of an open house, and we had like a bunch of snacks, and I have a pool in my backyard. So just a bunch of people came over throughout the day. I think it was in between 12 o'clock and 4 o'clock or something. So we had probably, I'd say, over 250 people come by during the day.
Unreal.
It was a lot of visiting going on, and congratulating, and I was trying to make my rounds and make sure that I had kind of chatted with everyone and said hi, and I didn't want to seem arrogant or
I'm in the big leagues now.
Yeah, I'm not that type of guy. So I tried to do my rounds as best as possible, and thanked everyone for helping me get to where I am, because lots of people have played big roles in where I am today. So I made sure I thanked them, and and made sure that they knew how much of a help they were to me, I guess.
Yeah, you seem like a real down to earth dude. So I'm wondering, when you signed the entry level contract, were any of your boys hitting you up and being like, "All right, when are we going for dinner? Steaks on Logan." Was there any of that going on? Yeah,
well, when I posted my signing picture on Instagram, I remember a few of my teammates were bugging me about steaks when I get home, or steaks back to Kamloops. They're like, dinner's on Stankoven when he's back in town. So,
that's awesome. We'll move off Dallas shortly. Did you end up going to main camp or no? I can't remember.
Yes, I did.
So meeting guys like Dallas has some absolute legends playing there, and then a few young guys like Miro Heiskanen and John Klingberg, like those guys on the point. I often, and Matt and I have talked about this, Dallas's defense are some of the most
elite,
like underrated, I think, a little bit, just because where we live you don't see that much of Dallas, but it's elite. And then obviously Jamie Benn, Tyler Seguin, Joe Pavelski, like guys like that there. Meeting those guys for you, was there any surprises on like a personality type? Because you see these guys in the media a little bit, but obviously they're not gonna show everything in the media. But so was there any surprise for you in meeting those guys, or was there any like one experience that sticks out to you and like, wow, that's a really nice guy for doing that, or something like that?
Yeah, there was a few different occasions. I remember it was one of my first days while at the camp. I remember I was in the elevator with Denis Gurianov, and I didn't really know that it was actually Denis Gurianov in the elevator with me, because you don't really hear of Gurianov.
Yeah.
He's not a huge star in the NHL, so I didn't really know what he looked like or what his face looked like. And he kind of had his back turned to me a bit when I walked in, but then once he knew that he was in the elevator with someone else, he kind of looked at me and saw that I had my, some of my Dallas Stars, I guess, training camp gear on, and he introduced himself to me as Dennis. And as soon as he said Dennis, I just kind of, in my brain, his name clicked, and I was like, no way, Denis Gurianov, introducing himself to me. So that was really cool.
That's
and then
awesome.
I remember my first day at main camp, Joe Pavelski was calling me by my nickname, so that was really cool as well.
Wow.
Nice. What is the nickname?
They call me Stanky.
Stanky.
Wow.
I like that. I like it.
Yeah, so,
how soon after the draft did you sign your entry-level deal?
I believe I signed around late September, so I think it was a couple months after, I guess, because the draft was the 23rd and 24th of July.
Were you surprised by that at all? Because
2 months after.
Okay. Yeah, were you surprised by that at all? Because oftentimes you see a guy get drafted and they sometimes they don't always sign their entry-level deal until maybe a year, sometimes even 2 years after. Were you surprised by that just going into the season? Because that would have been, I'm sure, a hell of a way to start your season off in the WHL this year too, just to see that as well with the Dallas organization.
Yeah, I was actually quite surprised by it. I didn't think I was going to actually sign at camp or at main camp. I guess they were surprised or impressed with how I had performed at camp. I didn't really see it coming though at all. I thought maybe, hey, if I go back to my club team in Kamloops here and
light it up,
have a good start to the season, maybe I could have a chance at signing a contract. But I didn't expect it at all. I guess at camp, but definitely a good feeling once I got once I found out that they wanted to give me a contract. So that was an exciting day for both me and my family. Just a proud day.
Yeah. Do you feel like, so U18 you won the gold assistant captain, as we said, you put up 8 points in 7 games, 4 goals, and a lot of big goals too. Do you feel like the U18 was like a little bit of a coming out party for you? Like you had 48 points in 59 games with the Blazers in 2019, 2020. So you're obviously, they had the point production, but I feel like, and I think we can speak to that as Ontario guys, like the name Logan Stankoven was tossed around a lot more after that U18. Did you notice that a little bit too? Because for us living where we live, I definitely noticed it more after that because you had a great showing there. Did you notice that too or no?
I think so a bit.
Yeah.
I remember, I just remember kind of a lot of people putting me down for my size and not really thinking that I can overcome my size or comparing me to smaller guys that haven't made the NHL. That's why I really tried to have a good start to the season with the Blazers. So I ended up playing 6 games before I left for U18s, and I think I had 10 points. So I thought I showed well before I left for U18s. And then once I got to U18s, I knew that was my time to shine. If I wanted to, I guess, leave an impact or kind of get my name out there, that was going to be the tournament to do so. So
awesome.
Made sure that every game at that U18 tournament, I wanted to showcase myself well and make a difference every time I was on the ice.
You did
Yeah,
for sure.
that was awesome to watch. By that, it was just really cool. There were a bunch of guys from Chump Talk that were on that team, so it was a lot of fun to watch you guys on TSN and
Mhm.
actually see it on the big screen, because we don't get to see too many WHL games out here in Ontario. So that was really cool. But just going into this year, so the previous season you were the assistant captain. You are now the captain of the Kamloops Blazers. Just talk about how you found out about that and how big of an honor that is for you.
Yeah, definitely big for sure. It's the team that I grew up watching, being a hometown kid. I've been to so many Blazers games when I was a kid, and watching, their playoff runs and knowing so many past players that have came through, and being able to see where they are now, but now to, I guess, put on the Blazers jersey in front of friends and family each night. It's pretty special. You kind of have to take a step back sometimes and put it in perspective and just realize how thankful I am to, play in my hometown.
Yeah.
A lot of my buddies at the time when the WHL draft happened, lots of my buddies were drafted to teams out east like Brandon and Calgary and Edmonton. So they were a bit farther from home than they probably would have liked. But for me to stay in my hometown and see my friends and my family, it's really cool. And then once I found out about the captaincy, it wasn't until I came back from the Dallas camp, and I kind of sat down with my coach, and for me, it's definitely an honor to wear a C, but at the end of the day, I try and lead by example. It doesn't really matter if I have a letter on my jersey or not. So I guess he just kind of sat me down and talked to me about it, because we also had a 20-year-old coming back in Quinn Schmiemann, and he just basically put it on the table. Either I can wear it if Quinn doesn't come back, because he was with Philly's farm team at the time. And then if Quinn does come back, either Quinn can wear it and then you would get an A, or either you guys can share it and be co-captains. So I thought it would have been a good idea to wear co-captains. So I'd wear the C at home and he wears it on the road. So that's what ended up happening. And
Nice.
I thought that was a real honor for me, being an 18-year-old and he's a 20-year-old. So I think he was pretty cool with, I guess, that idea as well. So I was just happy to, have a part in wearing the C.
That's awesome. And then going to the under 20 selection. So I guess we found out about it just last week. The roster for the invites to camp came out. Is that when you found out too, or did you know a little bit before that you were going to be selected?
I had gotten a phone call literally the night before it came out. So
Wow.
Oh, wow.
I didn't find out much sooner than the rest of the world.
And did you have expectations going in? Like, did you think you had a good shot, or did you, like, because you went to that camp in the summer, did you think there was a pretty good chance you were going to be, or were you not sure? And then getting that phone call, what was the feeling there?
Yeah, I thought it was kind of a fringe player, I guess. I didn't really know how many players they were going to invite to camp.
Yeah.
Once the roster was released, I was shocked that I had even made that list of players. Just with the small amount of guys that got invited, there was only, I believe, 35 players that were invited. So that was kind of a shocker for me, knowing that there was some first round talents that had been left off that list. So I think it was just had to do with, I guess, my U18 showing that I had, and being able to wear a letter at that tournament, and then winning gold there. And then I thought I had a pretty good World Junior Summer Camp, so I thought that may have contributed a bit as well. And then I've had a decent start to my season here as well in Kamloops. So I think all three experiences have kind of led to that invite.
So when does that all get underway here? Because obviously we're December 6th here. Time's moving on. When will you head over for camp there? Where is it? And just like how long will that be as well?
So it's coming up pretty quick. I leave Thursday morning at 6 a.m.
Wow.
I fly.
Oh, wow.
We practice Thursday night. We practice Friday. We play against the CIS All-Stars on Saturday and Sunday. And then by Sunday night, either if you've made the team, or either you will be. So it's literally a 4-day camp.
By this coming Sunday night, you're going to know already.
Yep, exactly.
Wow. Okay. That's insane. Well,
So,
go ahead, Matt.
No, I was going to say, like the mental aspect of that? Because obviously there's a lot of guys in the similar boat as you. Everyone wants a spot on that team. Just how do you mentally prepare yourself for something like that? Because that's like not a lot of time there to really show off your skills and impress the coaches and whoever else is selecting that team.
Yeah, so I think it's just going into that, I guess that selection camp with an open mind and realizing that, hey, there's a lot of good players here, and I'm just lucky enough to be selected to the camp. So I think I just need to find a role that I can suit, and whether it's penalty killing or being a 13th forward, I honestly don't really care. At the end of the day, I'm still an 18-year-old, so I'll have another chance at trying out for the team again next year. So I just want to go in there, and obviously I want to do everything I can to make the team. But I mean, I'll just be grateful, even if I don't even suit up for the team. Just being along for the ride would be so cool. So hopefully, just earn my spot and finding a role. I guess that suits my game. I'm a type of guy that likes to bring lots of energy, and I guess I try and create turnovers, and I've got experience playing penalty kill roles before. So I don't. Even if I did make the team, I wouldn't expect to be playing, lots of minutes. I think it's just more of an experience thing because there's lots of other O2s that will have that chance of playing power play and playing big minutes.
That's amazing. Do you, so you were just kind of describing how you play a little bit. I'm curious, like I'm on Elite Prospects right now looking at your stats, and there's a couple like blurbs on there just like describing your play. Do you ever look at those and just kind of like either shake your head, be like, oh, that's definitely not the type of player I am, or you just be like, oh, that's pretty accurate. Like I'm going to read one here. Okay. I'm going to read one that I found here, and you kind of tell me if there's anything you'd add to that, or if there's anything you'd maybe take away from that. So here's one.
Okay.
Logan Stankoven is a fearless puck carrier, always driving the inside and never shy about setting up shop near the net front of the puck. He plays north-south game and always attacks at an unrelentless high pace. The mechanics behind his shot are so clean, exerting downward force while pushing his top hand off his body.
Ooh, that sounds damn good.
That's
damn good.
I don't know what half that stuff means, but I feel like that's good, isn't it?
Yeah, they got pretty in depth about those details, but I'd say most of that's pretty true.
Okay, no matter this has been amazing. No matter what happens next week, I didn't realize it was all gonna come up that quick. I thought it was at least a week long process, because we're actually this episode's gonna be coming out next Tuesday, so you're already gonna know the answer by then. But either way, no matter what happens, it's a huge honor for you, and we're happy for you as well, captain of the Blazers. Last thing, you're wearing a Blue Jays hat. Do you follow them? Do you follow them pretty closely?
A little bit here and there. I started to follow them more towards the end of the season because they were close to making playoffs. But once they were kind of, I guess, once I found out that they had missed playoffs, I didn't pay attention to them at all. So
okay,
I was hoping they were going to make it though, because they got some good young prospects there, and it's just too bad. But
yeah, they've made a couple big signings in the offseason here. That Kevin Gausman, I think, is going to be a stud. They lost Robbie Ray and Simeon, but I think the Jays are going to look good going forward. Have you ever been because when we watch the Jays games, whenever the Jays go to Seattle, right near you, have you ever been one of the fans that go over and cheer on the Jays there? Because it's always like, I feel like it's 80% Jays fans whenever the Jays are in Seattle.
I've never been to a Blue Jays game or watched Jays play. I've been to 2 baseball games in my life, so it's been or actually 3, but I only stayed for like a couple innings for one of the games because I had to leave I was actually in Detroit and we were watching a Tigers game, but we had to leave because we had a practice or something. I was there for a tournament.
Okay.
I don't know why we went to the baseball game, because we had to leave like halfway through the game to go to practice, so it was kind of silly. But
awesome.
And then I've also been to the Mariners game one time. Can't remember who they were playing. I think it was maybe the Angels. And then while I was in Dallas, we went to go see a Rangers game.
Oh, nice.
Nice. Cool. Oh, that's sweet. That's sweet.
Yeah.
Mariners actually got Robbie Ray from our Blue Jays, so he's going to be real close to you. I wish they would have found a way to keep him, but it is what it is.
Yeah, for sure.
Logan, I hope we can do this again sometime. Like I said, congrats. No matter what happens, it's pretty incredible honor for you. So hopefully we can catch up again in the past. Hopefully we see you out with Team Canada, and if we do, then we definitely are gonna have to catch up after that. And if not, we're gonna have to catch up either way.
Yeah, for sure. I appreciate you doing this. So
good luck with everything, man.
Yeah, thank you very much. Take care, guys.
We'll see ya.
Okay, bye.